Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Disqualified. I am Trevin, joined as always by Caleb.
Hola!
And Zach as always is behind the camera.
Hello. And we are here to talk about a very mid episode of Smackdown. Woo! We get like 2 good and 7 bad.
Yeah. And this is also the episode where they release and announce the full Wrestlemania card. And in the great words of MJF, both this episode and a lot of the Wrestlemania card. Mid!
Yeah. So, one thing we do want to talk about, because next week is WrestleMania. It is our big week. It's our busy week. So, you might see something that's hanging right now. This was known as the Chop Championship.
Yeah.
Now, just for right now, until I get the funds to actually purchase a replica, that's not going to break my bank. This will be used for the NXT Predictions Championship.
Yes. Until we get an actual NXT branded belt. If any of y'all would like to donate one, leave a comment down below.
If you do have one, I'll take it.
Yeah.
I'll pay you very nicely for it. But, yeah. So, this will be displayed front and center next week when we do both of our predictions.
Yes. We might do the stand and deliver one as a separate episode. We'll see how we feel and how our editor feels.
Probably going to do them as 2 separate, but we'll probably record them the same exact day.
Yes. And just for ease of us.
You can expect those by Thursday, Friday at the latest.
Yes.
I don't know about that.
Fight.
Also, there is all 4 of us predicting. There is Gordon, Zach, Trevin, and I.
Oh, it'd be funky if one of these belts ended up off camera.
Yeah. Or out of studio because they're not even here most of the time. But without further ado, we will continue on. This show got opened with Randy Orton and Nick Aldis.
Yep, Nick Aldis opens up being like, there's clearly an elephant in the room after last week, and I am here to address it. The fact of Randy's Mania spot.
Yeah, and Randy comes out and he says, look, he's like, look, I just want a match against anybody. At this point in my career, I've earned the Mania spot.
Yep, it's like, it could be against a local talent. I mean, heck, you could put your trunks back on. We could go for one.
Yeah, he's like, you could take the suit off for one night and you could put on those boots and step in the ring with me.
Yep. But he's like, I just want something.
Yep, and here comes
Solo
Sikoa, who immediately ruins this segment.
Yeah.
Solo interrupts. He brings up LA Knight. He brings up the fact that Randy is crying and no one wants to hear him cry about a Mania match.
Yep. And what's the number 1 rule of wrestling?
You don't say people's names. So wait, did LA come from behind or did he walk past them?
He came at them from behind because they were already in the ring a little bit, so he made his entrance.
Okay, yeah.
A brawl was already ensuing. Randy was outnumbered. LA was like, hey, you said my name. I'm a squabble.
Yeah, I'm a briskly jog down to the ring with my Timbs on.
Yeah, and this leads to our main event turning into a tag match with Randy and LA Knight fighting Tama Tonga and Solo Sikoa.
Yeah.
We will see that later.
Yes, we will see that later. Now, moving on to what took up a
decent chunk of the show.
Of the show, of pretty much the first hour after this. It is your WWE Women's Tag Team Gauntlet match to become number 1 contenders
for the WrestleMania match.
Yep, for the WWE Women's Tag title at WrestleMania.
Yep.
And we see your first entrance into this match, Bayley and Lyra Valkyria, your Women's Intercontinental Champion, versus PFC.
Minus one of their release members, they're still going with that name.
Also, I want to point out, Zoe Stark currently is doing a right to censor gimmick, or how did I put air quotes? Oh, right, the censor gimmick, pretty much. That's what it is. On social media, and she said that Liv Morgan and women wrestlers are turning the ring into their own personal strip club. And I just want to say, Zoe, your top was more revealing than Liv's was last night. So, but also they, of course, get no reaction upon making their entrance or being in the match at all. And they are the first people eliminated with a jackknife cover from Lyra. And next, we see Natalya and Maxine Dupree.
Hey.
That's over quickly as they came out. Inside cradle from Bailey. 1, 2, 3.
Out of here.
And now we get I think one of the better matches in here. We get Kaden Carter and Katana Chance.
Yep.
They don't even give them a break. They sprint to the ring. They start doing incredible tag team offense. They do hit their finisher, the kickstand, which looks amazing. But Casey Catanzaro, wrong name. Katana Chance. She enters the ring, does a crossbody, gets caught from a roll through by Lyra. Lyra powers her up into the Nightwing, and 1, 2, 3. Now there are 2 teams left, and the next team is Michin and B-Fab.
Yup. They honestly incredible bout, but you know, a good old rose plant from Bailey from out of nowhere.
Yep, on to B-Fab for the 1, 2, 3. And now here comes the 6th team, the best match in the gauntlet, the Secret Purvis.
Holy. This final match was good. You could see that Bailey and Lyra were starting to get at their wits' end. They're exhausted from running the gauntlet, and the Secret Purvis are taking advantage. Power move after power move. But Bailey and Lyra still got that fighting spirit. They still got that vibe going.
Yeah, so there was I believe they did a tag move, Lyra and Bailey.
Yep.
For the 1, 2 kick out. Or no, they did a tag move, and then they got a 1 count.
Yes.
On Piper, and I was like, oh, that's it. And then we see the Secret Purvis take over for the bulk of the match, pretty much afterwards. They do their tag move on Bailey. Bailey gets covered for the 1, 2, pushes Piper Niven onto Alba and Bailey. And then we get Piper getting taken out with an apron powerbomb via dropkick double move.
Yep. Alba tries for the roll-up with Bailey distracted.
Delivers a pretty devastating super kick.
Yes. 1, 2 kick out.
Hits a tries to go for a suplex.
Yep.
Bailey floats over.
Tag.
We get the rose plant and then a top rope. I want to say leg drop, but it also looks like an axe kick. We're watching the clip now.
It hurt.
It's either a leg drop or an axe kick.
Yeah.
For the axe kick.
For the 1, 2, 3, and
your number 1 contenders, which I didn't think was going to happen after Monday, Bailey and Lyra.
Oh, I knew it was going to happen. So I want to talk about the women's tag circuit because I've seen some discourse online saying that, hey, why did you have a non-women's tag team win the gauntlet? Well, yes, I do agree with that.
Half the gauntlet was hodgepodge.
Was hodgepodge tag teams. So fuck all with that logic.
Yep.
Also, I do agree with the fact that you have the women's mid-card champion being in a tag team match for no fucking reason. You couldn't put her on the card. Look, I don't give a rat's ass about Drew and Damian Priest. I really don't. That match can be gone. I am sorry. The New Day and War Raiders, that match can be off the tag.
Yes.
That match can be off.
Raw men's tag division got the Mania spot.
Like, you're doing so many stupid matches this year at Mania. Your first gimmick match is a Sin City street fight.
The only gimmick match.
So congratulations.
Speaking of the Sin City street fight.
Yeah, let's talk about the two participants. Damian Priest comes out. And he comes out to speak. Drew McIntyre comes out, beats him up. And then Future Shock DDT onto the stairs. After a huge brawl ensues.
Yeah. Drew, a bulk of his promo was basically him taking off the eye patch saying, I'm 100% cleared. My eyes regenerated. I'm the Wolverine.
Yep. And I'm tired of the storyline already, dude. I'm tired of it.
The match is gonna cook. The fact that it is the only gimmick match on the Mania card.
It's not gonna cook because Damian Priest is gonna win.
Yeah, it is a street fight.
Like, if they make Drew lose this match, it is so ass. That is the only thing that made me interested in the match, was the Future Shock onto the stairs. That was the only thing.
He's probably going to try to re-hit that. And another reason people are pointing out why Damian's probably winning, at the end of this promo, Drew took a trophy. He took Damian Priest's cross necklace.
And whenever Drew takes a trophy, he can't have the trophy. So,
yup.
Why make his character take trophies if he can't have them? Seems stupid.
Also, you also just took the cross necklace off of a decently religious man. You go get effed up.
Yeah. And now here comes a thing that fixes all of the problems with the episode.
Match of the effing night.
Rey Fenix versus Berto. 7-match series. Give it to me.
This could have been the entire episode of Smackdown, honestly. I would have been happy.
Give me more lucha shit. Give me more lucha shit, please. So, we see Berto and Rey Fenix literally just tear the roof down. Their highlight package isn't even all the highlights from the match.
No.
We see Berto hit a corkscrew plancha to the outside, which was amazing. So phenomenal.
My lord.
And then we see, of course, Rey Fenix do his little tightrope jump into a missile drop kick. We then get the goodbye. Is it the adios kicks or the goodbye kick?
Adios kicks.
Adios kick.
Yes, because Spanish.
Well, he also says goodbye, I think.
He said
adios.
He says adios.
Okay.
Yeah.
And this is later on in the match, Zach, if you actually want to see the clip that I'm talking about.
Yeah,
and then he hits the what was it? He then sets Berto up for the Mexican Muscle Buster for the 1, 2, and 3. Also, Rey hits a very casual
corkscrew suicide dive. Yeah.
Which is
2 rotations.
Two full rotations and about half a one.
So that is, what's that math?
That would be a 900.
A 900. Jesus, this man's just out here casually hitting 900s. I love that for him.
Yes, no.
I think this very much leads to Phoenix getting booked like Penta is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, here we go. Here's the adios kick.
Adios, amigo.
Bop! And then he hits a devastating
back kick.
Sets him up for the Mexican Muscle Buster. 1, 2, 3. Like I said, I think this leads to him getting booked very much like Penta.
Yes.
Being in the U.S. title picture. The only thing is, after Mania, I don't know if he's actually going to survive that title picture.
Yeah. But if who we think is going to win and Rey Fenix do get a match, that match is going to cook.
Oh, yes. But after the match, we see Santos Escobar and Angel come out to speak to Berto, and Santos pretty much says, look, he beats you fair and square in the middle of the ring. Shake his hand. Shake his hand. Shake his hand. Like, he forces Berto to shake his hand. Berto walks by, shakes his hand very reluctantly. Like a speed, like, there you go. Leaves, and then Santos shakes Ray's hand and does his little his hand signal, and then leaves.
Yep.
And now we follow up the best match of the night with literally the worst segment of the evening.
You will not find this match on the highlight reel. It doesn't even have a highlight clip on
the website.
On the website. Because they don't want us talking about it, but we gotta talk about it.
So,
it's literally one sentence.
The Secret Hervis are taken out from their match earlier. They're in the training room, and we see Zelina and Chelsea talking before the match, and Zelina says, look, you're going to have to do this by yourself. Then it very randomly cuts to her entrance, Zelina's entrance, like midway through her entrance. We then get Chelsea Green coming out, and I don't even recall the bell ringing to start this match. We get a mini brawl on the outside.
Yep. Chelsea starts arguing with your announced team for the night, and all of a sudden you hear the ref go 10.
And
your winner is Zelina Vega by countout.
For a non-title match. And now, because she got a win over the champion, they're going to say she's a credible threat. She is not a fucking credible threat. You won by countout. And then she says, while walking up the ramp, next time it's for the title. Guess what? You do this next time,
you don't win the title.
Like, also, if they have Chelsea Green after this lose to Zelina Vega, who literally can't even look dominant when she is by herself in a one-on-one match, what are we doing with this belt? Why are we booking the belts this way? At this point, you don't have any of the women's mid-cards on the WrestleMania card. Get rid of the fucking belts at this point, because you don't care about the divisions. It is just blatantly, glaringly obvious you do not care about these divisions. So why do you even have them? Here's another thing. We have a new women's champion in WWE. You want to guess the belt?
The ID belt?
Nope. Speed. You want to guess who picked it up?
I haven't paid attention to Speed at all.
A woman who is going to be in the women's NXT North American Championship ladder match. Sol Ruca just won the Speed Championship.
Hey, good for her.
Which means she's not winning Saturday.
Yet.
So, thank you. You've already given us one less person to pick from. Why are you booking these belts like this? Why are you booking these belts like this? At least NXT has a reason. Stephanie had to give up one of the belts.
Yep.
But NXT is showing you how to book these divisions.
Yes.
Why is it so hard for you to look at what they're doing Tuesday and just not try to replicate it? Like, what are we doing?
Yes.
And now we get to a promo from Cody Rhodes. The coolest part about this promo were all the belts
Yep.
in WWE's history, their mainline championships, were out there.
Even the spinner belt that John Cena made fun of.
I miss it so much.
Yeah, it is good looking.
I think it's good looking because I grew up with it. That was my championship. Also, funnily enough, that is the wrong side plate on the right side. That is supposed to say the brand that it's on. So, back when it was on Smackdown, when he introduced it, it was the Smackdown fist. When it was Raw, it was just the Raw logo. And they just had WWE Championship logo on it, on the side. So, I guess it's just a replica belt. I mean, it could be the real deal. I don't recall them getting rid of the branding towards the end of it, though. But Cody comes out and he talks about the championships and the people behind it. We, of course, get a huge Eddie Guerrero chant when we get to the Undisputed Championship because now, he is the most known version of that belt holder because it was Brock, it was Chris Jericho.
Mm-hmm. But those people have some issues internally with WWE right now.
Well, Brock does. Chris Jericho is just not in WWE,
Yeah.
so why even mention him?
Mm-hmm.
But we get to the Cena, we get to the spinner belt. He talks about, or a person that's had to hold this business up on his back for 10 years. He says, of course, Cena's not going to show up tonight. He's showing up next week in Vegas. And pretty much Cody says he'll see him there. And we'll get one final promo segment.
Yep.
And then the match on Sunday.
Yep. And next, another real good match, honestly.
Yeah, another real good match that was made impromptu. So we see Roxanne in the back getting interviewed by Byron. And Byron's like, why are you here?
And she says, like, listen, Ava's not putting me on the stand and deliver card, so I'm here to talk with one of the main roster GMs to see if he can slot me in.
Yeah, and Tiffany comes out of nowhere. And, of course, she has attitude from being attacked by Charlotte in the parking lot.
Mm-hmm.
It was funny in the background of the better clip, of the better version of the clip where you can actually see the beatdown happen and where it starts. Yeah. Angelo Dawkins is getting out of his car and getting ready, and Angelo retweeted the clip saying, "Dog, I was just trying to get ready for work." But
I will reestablish the Raw and Tag Division got on the Mania card.
Yeah, like, dude, literally one of the best parts of NXT, the last episode, and they're not even on. Like, the fact that they introduced the tag gauntlet.
Mm-hmm.
They got people hyped for the tag gauntlet. I guess it is WrestleMania Smackdown.
Yeah.
It's just stupid. It's not WrestleMania.
Yeah.
But Tiffany and Roxanne have a banger of a match.
Literally.
Banger of a match. It starts with them very much knowing each other's moves.
Yep.
A lot of counters, a lot of technical base. And then we get into the back and forth elements. And then we get Roxanne taking over a decent chunk of this match, applying the crossface that she's been using in NXT.
Yep.
And then it leads to Tiffany countering that into the roll through. It's not Samoan driver. It's the roll through fireman's carry slam.
Yep.
And then the prettiest moonsault ever for the 1, 2, 3. And now, online discourse. Before we get into the thing that happens after, we're going to get into online discourse about stupid wrestling fans. Why is Roxanne putting over people on the main roster? First of all, she's not on the main roster. I can see the complaints for her in NXT right now, putting people over. But guess what? She's on her way out, so it's her job.
She's in what some people call
Limbo.
Call-up limbo, where it's like, we want to keep you looking strong, but we need to make people who are going to replace your spot also look strong.
Yeah. And so they also said, why is she losing to the women's champion? Which, just say that sentence again.
Because she's the woman's champion?
Yeah. Like, are you stupid? Why would you want your champion looking weak going into Mania? But then again, people are going to say she looks weak anyways for getting blindsided by Charlotte Flair, who we were told had to leave.
Yep.
She came back, jumped Tiffany.
Yep.
And I'd say the only notable moment of this segment was Wade Barrett stepping in Charlotte's face and being like, do you want to get fired? Because you're not even supposed to be here right now.
It's like, do you want to lose your Mania spot? And it's like people are like just like get Wade back in the.
I just want one match.
Yeah.
I just need one more match from Wade.
He has said in interviews where it's like, if a story ever calls for me to put the headset away and put the trunks back on, I am down.
But yeah, that is pretty much the end of this segment. They did say that both Charlotte and Tiffy are undergoing disciplinary actions, but also, I hate to bring it up, because I don't even consider them a real credible source. Wrestler Observer newsletter, Dave Meltzer's thing said, they're like, hey, it is the planned winner has not changed. There's like the match hasn't changed at all. They said that the whole program has been fucked beyond repair because it has been Charlotte trying to put Tiffy into a sink or swim position. And it has been noted that people like John Cena and Randy Orton have done the same in the past. And yes, I will agree, they have done the same in the past. And I'm not saying it's right when they did it. It's still not right when Charlotte does it, because this has been a huge history with Charlotte. With every new person that she comes across, she always, it looks like, goes into business for herself. And that is not the business that you're in. The whole part of wrestling is that you build up your opponent going into the match.
Mm-hmm. I think Cody's done a couple interviews where he said something of like, if you are not in this business to ever in your career hold a title, get out.
Well, yeah.
But he also said, but your job with wanting to go after a title is making that title look good. And the easiest way to do that is making the title holder opponent you're going after look like this powerful force that you are going to try to conquer.
Yep. And also, apparently, the original plans for this feud were for Charlotte to be the face and Tiffany to be the heel. So why would you book Tiffany as a face before the Rumble?
Because it's physically impossible to make Charlotte a face.
Yeah. No, look, Zach got it.
Zach got it, and he doesn't even always watch weekly.
No, but I have a burning hatred for Charlotte Flair.
I just don't, like, she's great in the ring, don't get me wrong. Out of the women's division, she is legitimately, she's probably the best in the ring. Her character has not changed. Let's go over the 4 horsewomen real quick before we get into our main event, which I really don't care about. That's why I'm taking all this time to not talk about it. Becky Lynch has gone from Irish jig dancer. What time are we at? Okay. Irish jig dancer to steampunk to the man to pretty much what she is now, big time Bex. There was 2 belt Beck. Then we get Bailey. You know, we get the hugger, we get the role model, we get her part of Damage Control, and now we get her now back with the role model name. We get Sasha Banks going from, you know, Team Bad to the solidified version of the boss to now she's Mercedes Moné, and it's kind of the same character, but it's different. The other 3 have always found a way to reinvent themselves, change their characters, and present themselves as fresh when things were getting stale.
Yep. And it helped with the feuds they were participating in as well.
Charlotte Flair has only been Charlotte Flair. Charlotte Flair has only been the Queen, the 13-time women's champion.
Yep. Or in some feuds, thanks to some shoots that have that people love pointing out to Charlotte, the Nepo baby.
Yeah, like, that's been her gimmick. The only change with her gimmick was when she came to Monday Night Raw, she had a lackey in Dana Brooke. That was it. That's it. That's the character change. Got rid of the lackey. Congrats. You got rid of your heater because you got enough heat by yourself. I don't know. It's just, if you just present yourself the same after all these years, you're going to be stale.
Yep.
And you're stale now, and you were stale when you left.
Yeah. I mean, I think I said it on the podcast. I don't know if it's on or off camera, but I said, like, in the promo a couple weeks ago when she said they're either wooing or booing, and I'm like, who in the past few years have been wooing?
And it's like, yeah, they're booing. Yeah, congrats. They're making noise. You're getting them to make noise.
But no one ever wants you to win anymore.
Yeah, like, I don't know. I can only hope Tiffany wins. And we move past this very quick. But I don't know. Also, where's Nia and Candice?
Yeah, they have disappeared off the face of the earth.
And Alexa.
Yeah. Since Chamber, all three of those women have disappeared off the face of the earth.
Yeah, I've stalled enough time. It's time for your main event. Randy Orton and LA Knight versus Solo Sikoa and Tama Tonga.
Yep.
I just was not interested in this match. I'm tired of LA Knight being in the Bloodline Vortex. And now you've pulled Randy into the Bloodline Vortex.
He used to be in the Vortex back when Cody was still in it, but yeah. Some people are pissed at this might tease Solo being Randy's replacement match, which I'm like, I'm iffy on it. It's like, Solo has done a decent number of things where it's like, you could argue he's earned a Mania spot now. But it's like, the stigma of making him Randy's replacement match would ruin that honor.
Yeah.
It's like, it is no shot at Randy, it is no shot at Solo. Because I agree with some of the internet saying, like, Solo does deserve a potential Mania spot. Giving that spot to him as a replacement for a match that got canceled due to injury would taint it so much.
I think my thing is, if this is your first Mania where you're getting a match, because Solo has not wrestled on Mania before.
Nope.
I would want you to have your own storyline going into it. Just for yourself. Like, legit. I think everyone, if they're going into their first Mania, should have their own Mania storyline built.
Yep.
It should not be a replacement. I think the reason why people are okay with Nick Aldis being the replacement
is because
he hasn't had a match in WWE.
Yeah.
And if this is his one and only shot at getting a match, just take it.
Yeah.
Just take it.
And the funny thing is that Aldis being the replacement has more story build up than Solo being the replacement because of the 2 RKOs he's taken.
Yeah. And also, Randy said that he has his respect, but he doesn't know what he's going to do. He doesn't know what he's going to say to Mickey if Nick Aldis doesn't put him on Mania.
Yeah.
So that gives more storyline reason. Like, Solo's gonna be around.
Yes.
He's gonna be around. He's good enough to actually get reactions on the main roster.
Yeah.
He's getting crowd reactions. He can cut a good promo. He can talk.
Yes.
It's just his in-ring stuff is a little stale, but I feel like that's a kind of majority for some people on the main roster because you just kind of get complacent and you don't want to risk and
you don't want to risk a shakeup that'll end up people not liking you anymore.
Yeah. And pretty much the match ends with Randy and Solo brawling through the crowd.
Which leaves the 2 legal men, LA and Tama, in the ring.
Mm-hmm.
LA Knight hits a BFT on Tama for the 1, 2, 3. They claim victory, but who decides to pop up out of nowhere?
Jacob Fatu instantly makes the whole thing better. Jacob Fatu comes in and just demolishes LA Knight.
Yep.
And that is
He goes to pick up the title, but is like, nah, I know the stigma. Puts it back down and leaves.
Yep. Yeah, he pretty much just super kicks him.
Bah!
And then I think he just hits a senton, and then I think the double spring moonsault after a few headbutts.
Yeah.
But also, there was another botch I kind of forgot to mention in an earlier spot. It's in the gauntlet. There was a spot where Zoe Stark gets tagged in for a missile dropkick, and then immediately exits the ring, and Shayna Baszler is now the legal participant. When Shayna just tagged out.
Huh.
Yeah. But that was this episode of SmackDown. Does not feel like the week before Mania SmackDown.
No. Yeah, your entire WrestleMania card has been confirmed. 13 matches, 7 on Saturday, 6 on Sunday. How predictions for Mania is going to work, and for SummerSlam, since it's switching to 2 nights, is we are still predicting the show as a whole.
Mm-hmm.
13 points are up for grabs.
Yes, they are. And for Stand and Deliver, I mean, it's pretty standard.
Yes, standard
fair.
prediction stuff, yes.
Standard prediction fair will just have a new belt holder in the group.
Yes.
And
Possibly a double champ, who knows?
Possibly double champ, possibly 2 new champs. Or there's going to be a new champ, but
yes.
possibly 2.
I will be double champ.
You will not be double champ, because I think the only match you're going to guess correctly is Oba winning. I think Oba's winning that match.
Sure, I will get all my points.
But
we'll get to that when we predict.
that is it from us here at Disqualified. This has been Caleb, your main roster predictions champion. That's been Trevin. And behind the camera, as always, has been Zach, our lovely producer. Yeah. Be sure to
give you a compliment and you flip us off.
Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, ring that bell 3 times so you know the match is over. And we will see you next time. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your time, and peace.
Bye!